good afternoon. Hey, it's Russell of Hotels going live for that show. You know what it's called. On Air with Russell of Hotels. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 29th. It's about 1:05, right? Well, I purposely did 1:05 because I had some stuff to do. You know, normally it's 1 o'clock, okay? So it's 5 minutes, okay? So relax. You know, I just got back this morning. Not that you guys really care, but I just got back this morning from Panama, okay? I'm not even sure if I told everybody that's where I was going. If you do follow me on social media, I did post things. You know, you don't want to tell everybody what you're doing, right? But I do tell a lot, right? So if you're watching and listening, you'll know where I'm going, okay? And I'll do things while I'm there. I'll do lives from when I'm there. I'll post things, et cetera. So I did mention, I guess, a little bit that I'll be out of town, but maybe I didn't go specifics into, like, I'm going to Panama. I'm going to be in Panama City. I'm going to go to Portobelo. I'm going to do Colón. I didn't say all that, okay? But I did maybe mention at least one time I was going to Panama. So, hey, so that's what this is all about today. I'm talking a little bit about Panama, not a lot. Because for me, it's about, I mean, the destination is cool. I love the destination, but it's always about that hotel, right? It's always the hotel, the byproduct of the destination, right? You can go to a great destination, which Panama is a fantastic destination, but you need something to kind of balance it out, right? And that's the hotel. So if you're able to, like, spend a little time there, not saying you have to spend too much time, because a lot of time we go for the destination, or probably 90% of the time we go for the destination and we find a nice hotel. So, well, this one, it was a nice hotel, a nice destination, so they all kind of merged together, okay? So once again, okay, so right now, this photo right here, and this is actually, okay, so we stayed in Panama City, okay? Now, this was an excursion that we did. So we went to Portobelo, which is a town. If you guys are not familiar with this, look this up, Google this, because I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna talk a lot about it, but I want you to do your homework, right? So Google this, Cristo Negro, okay? Cristo, Cristo, Negro, Negro, okay? Just Google that, see what it comes up, okay? Well, we went to see Cristo Negro in Portobelo. So that's where it is. It's outside of Panama City. It's a story. There's a museum based on all that, based on how a lot of, I guess, enslaved Africans, how are they in Panama? How are they in Central America? Okay, so there's history based on that, right, which was very fascinating. So do your homework, look it up, because I did, right? So that's your homework, right? So just check it out, just educate yourself. That's all I'm saying. But I love this country. This is my first time there. I've been to Central America before. I've been to Costa Rica 2 times, but this first time in Panama. So man, it was cultural. It was just a good feeling. It was just positive, good people, nice people. You talking about hospitality. Hospitality is how people make you feel. The hotel Sofitel, that's where we stayed, was definitely that. Okay, so I'm gonna get into some shout outs in a minute, but I just wanted to start it off with that. So this is what is this called right here? This is Fort San Lorenzo. So this is on the Caribbean side. So this is right in Portobelo, right? But this is a fort that they had built to, I would think, to guard against whatever the enemy, pirates or whatever, right? So this was a port that was built, I want to say, in the 1600s, and this is part of it that's still there. So I wanted to show that, because we did do this excursion. So this is like an hour-and-a-half drive from Panama City. So there you go. So I just had to show, you always got to show a little history of the destination that you visited, okay? We're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, so feel free to make your comments. If you're on YouTube, feel free to make comments. You can do them in real time. I'll put your comments on the screen in real time. If you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel, please do so. Please subscribe to Russell of Hotels. That is my channel on YouTube. If you're on LinkedIn, you can make comments as well. It's just that they won't be in real time, okay? I have to go back after I finish and go back, and I do this all the time anyway, so I'll go back and address your comments, say, hey, what's going on? Thank you so much. But I just appreciate people for, tuning in either on LinkedIn or YouTube. I just appreciate you. But if you do subscribe to my channel on on YouTube, you'll get notifications. Anytime I go live, you'll get a notification like, oh my God, this Russell guy, he's so good. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. Let me check him out. So you get a notification for that. So you can get all excited and all that stuff. So there you go. There you go. And I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm feeling good. So despite that, I only had, if any, sleep, I don't sleep, and this is not by choice. I just don't sleep a lot on planes, right? So we had a layover, right? And then a delay. And a layover in Atlanta, because we went from Panama to Atlanta, had a layover. The layover was going to be 3 hours anyway, right? Well, that layover turned into a delay. So we're supposed to leave at 10:59, I believe. We end up leaving about, their time, maybe close to midnight or 1 o'clock or something like that. So needless to say, we didn't get back to Los Angeles until about 2:30 in the morning. Okay, so that's what I'm running on fumes, but that's all right, Because the show still goes on, regardless if Russell of Hotels is tired. He's still got a show to do. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So there you go. So give me some grace for anything else I may have made a mistake on or whatever. Give me some grace. We're moving forward with it. We're gonna make it happen. So there you go. So I always want to show people this top 50 podcasts in hospitality. It's small, and I moved it to the other side because I wanted to showcase what I was showing here. This is actually, and I apologize for this kind of distorted view of this. This was actually our patio, where you can see outside, right? You can see the entire bay, if you will. And you can see downtown from here. But for whatever reason, the photo didn't show that. But I was out here doing a little work, and you get that Wi-Fi. I mean, the Wi-Fi is strong enough where I can do my work outside. So I like to go back and just do that, okay? Just office out of here for, like a week. This would be so cool, right? So anyway, I'm on the top 50 podcasts, or On Air with Russell of Hotels, one of the top 50 podcasts globally for 2025. Yeah, we're in 2025 right now. So I just always want to make sure I mention those things, because people may not know. Just like you didn't know I was in Panama, you didn't know I was my podcast On Air with Russell of Hotels, one of the top 50 podcasts in hospitality globally. That means around the world, for 2025. So you may not have known that. So my job is to educate people. It's all about being visible, people. Just remember that. Be visible as you can. Let people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And there you go. So that's how you get noticed or get known, but you have to be visible. You can't be out there hiding, okay? You can't hide, okay? So the hotel, of course, is the Sofitel Legend Hotel in Panama City. So the official name, or the entire name, is Sofitel Legend Casco Viejo in Panama City. Okay, so that's the official name for the hotel, but of course, I abbreviate everything. Sofitel Legend Hotel in Panama. Okay, so there you go. And I have some specifics of the hotel. This is the patio area, right? So those people are looking at the bay of, I'm not sure if that's the bay of Panama City. They're looking at, there's a body of water, you can see that, but below that, there's a pool. And I wish I had taken a photo of that. I did not take a photo. I took a video of it, but I did not take a photo of it. And I mean, it's just amazing. This hotel, and I didn't realize the hotel was built in 2023, because the architecture is like it's been there since the early 1900s. But no, it was actually built in 2023. At least that's what it says. Okay, that's the information I received. Okay, so regardless what it is a spectacular, amazing hotel. The service is amazing. The food was amazing. Everything. Everybody was nice. I could not ask for anything more than that. And that hospitality thing we always talk about, I got that feeling of hospitality. Well, no, you definitely got that feeling of hospitality from the people. The people they did whatever they could to assist you, to make sure your breakfast was good, to make sure you understood what you were ordering, to make sure, if you got locked out of your room, they were there to accommodate you. Turn down service. If you need anything extra, they were there for that. So I appreciate that, and that stuff does not go unnoticed. So I do appreciate that. And it's located right in the kind of the city center, if you will. A plaza that was right there, and there's a lot of shopping, restaurants within walking distance of this hotel. So the location was great. I mean, you could not have asked for a better location, better hotel for the experience of this, this destination. So, but I was only there for 4 days. Now, if I could have been there maybe a week, 7 days, you could see more, you can experience more, you can really take it all in. But because we're only there for a couple of days, you want to see as much as you can. You want to squeeze it all in, if you will. And we definitely squoze a lot in. Is that a word? Squoze? Squeeze, squoze? Okay, so I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Come on. So the blog. The blog is going to be 2 things today. I got some information here. I'm going to thank some people, and of course, I'm giving the blog information. So you can go to my blog, which is at russellofhotels.com. Now you can see russellofhotels.com in gold at the bottom and in white at the bottom. So if you want information about, basically what I'm talking about today, but it's not on there yet, okay? Or just past, topics that I discussed, just go russellofhotels.com, go to the blog. All the information is, for the most part, current, other than today's information. So that's where you can find all my information. Go to my website, the blog happens to be there, right? But information about me, the company, how I started, when I started, why I do what I do, all that stuff. What I actually do, all that stuff is there. So feel free to reach out. My phone number is there, as well as my email. So if you have any questions at all, you can always feel free to reach out and touch me, call me, email me. However you want to get a hold of me, I'm accessible. And that's one thing about me that I can say. I'm accessible 24/7. So if you want to get a hold of me, please feel free to just reach out. You have questions. People call me all the time with the darndest questions. And you know what? And no question is too silly or too dumb or just out there. I get them all, right? I get them all. Like, how do I do this? Or how do I make reservations at a hotel? Like, okay, well, let's think about that for a second. I mean, I get those kind of questions, but that's okay, because I make sure I'm accessible for anyone. If I'm saying that, okay, I am accessible, and then I don't give you information, I don't give you phone numbers, I don't give you emails, or I don't respond to them, well, then what good am I? Okay, so there you go. So no question is too out there where I'm not going to answer it or I'm not going to take the time. But anyway, I want to put a little information about the hotel as well. So shout out to David Kianni. He's the general manager at the hotel, at the Sofitel, right? He is the general manager at the hotel we're showcasing today, the hotel I just stayed in. David Kianni. You know why I'm doing this? I'm showcasing him, or why am I giving him a shout out? I didn't even know I didn't even know his name at first, right? So I was posting things on, I think it was on LinkedIn, or it was on one of the social media platforms. And one thing that I do, I tag the hotel, or wherever I am, I tag that location. So I tag the hotel. And he didn't necessarily send me a note or message, but he liked one of my postings, which a lot of general managers, this is the first general manager, I'm telling you right now. I've been doing this for a long time. You guys know that. This is the first general manager that actually liked something or made a comment, and it may have been a slight little comment, thank you, or whatever, or he may have just liked what I posted. That's the first time I've seen that from a general manager, right? So, well, actually from a director of sales too, but definitely from a general manager. So shout out to him. I appreciate that you did respond to at least the posting that I put out there, that I tagged your hotel on. That just tells me that this general manager is in tune with marketing, because he's looking at the branding aspect of it. He's looking to see who's posting things about my hotel, because this is user-generated content. At this point, he didn't ask me to do this, okay? I happen to be a guest at this hotel, and of course, I'm going to showcase this hotel because I want people that follow me to see this hotel, to see where I've been. So shout out to David Kianni, General Manager. And in fact, he used to be a General Manager here in the States as well, right? So I want to say he's educated in one of the Ivy League schools, if I'm not mistaken. And I know he worked at least at one hotel on the West Coast, and I want to say the San Francisco area, but I'm pretty sure he did some things on the East Coast as well. But yeah, shout out to David Kianni, General Manager of the Sofitel. Let me just say it. Let me say it right, because this is probably the last time I'm going to say it correctly, right? The Sofitel Legend, Casco Viejo in Panama City. So shout out to David Kianni. 159 rooms. So it's not an overly large hotel, which is great. But the service, the hotel may be small, but the service is huge, okay? Service is huge, and probably that has a lot to do with David. So shout out to you, David. Meeting space, of course, we always want to know meeting space, especially if you do groups, right? So it's not a lot of meeting space, but it's adequate, probably, 200, 250, probably be great for that. So 4,296 square feet of meeting space, 4,296 square feet of meeting space. So it's great. And it overlooks kind of the ocean or the Bay Area. That's good. It sits on a patio. Built in 2023, which I'm still kind of dumbfounded on that. I can't believe this built in 2023 because, like I said, the design, the architecture, it's tight. It's beautiful. That's all I can say. And it's a 5-diamond hotel. Boom, that's top of the line right there, right? And you feel it with the service. You feel it with the service, the aesthetics, the location. I mean, you feel all of that. So there you go. Once again, that is the hotel that I'm showcasing, because I never do one of these shows that I don't showcase a hotel. And this hotel happens to be one we just stayed in a couple of days ago. In fact, yesterday, just left there yesterday. So once again, the Sofitel Legend, Casco Viejo in Panama City, Panama. Panama City, Panama. Oh, no, we appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay, so if I had a topic today, it would be this. Okay, as I'm looking at 2 plates of avocate. Okay, so and bread, right? So I made my own avocado toast. Okay, so that's what I did. Okay, so and it had a lot of fruit, had oatmeal. That's a perfect breakfast for me. Okay, oatmeal with like fruit and nuts. Okay, you don't have to have a lot of sugar in it. In fact, it comes with this particular oatmeal, and you don't see a picture of this, but it came with like chocolate, I don't know, shaved chocolate or chocolate chips or whatever, chocolate. Okay, so I ate the first day because I didn't know it was in it. So I ate it, and I'm like, okay, that was good, but let me try it without the chocolate. So I tried it, the next day without chocolate, and it was just as good. And it wasn't as sweet, which is good, right? Because this chocolate, sometimes chocolate can be a little sweet, and I don't necessarily need more sugar. Okay, so I took that out, and it was just as good, and you can taste the fruit and everything. And then I'm gonna make my own avocado toast. So fresh avocado, I mean, just as ripe, is just perfect. With the toast, with the bread, kind of sourdough-ish bread. Oh man, it was excellent. Okay. So delicioso. So yeah, it was very good. Well, the presentation was great. The servers were magnificent, and you can tell the servers. I mean, they love what they do. They had passion for serving, and that's what you're looking for, right? You need that. There's certain things you can't teach. You can teach somebody how to, take an order, bus a table, whatever. But as far as that, being hospitable, as far as smiling and asking questions and getting to know their customers and things like that, or their guests, not necessarily customers. McDonald's has customers. Hotels have guests, okay? It was great. There was nothing, I can't say anything wrong about my stay, other than the fact, wait a minute, I can say something. On the last day, and it was probably my own fault, the key stopped working because, I was going in and out and it stopped working. So I had to go back to the front desk and get another key. But that was no big deal, right? That was no big deal. But that was if I had to, I got to think of something, right? So if I was like grasping at straw, like what went wrong during this stay? Well, that would be the only thing. That would be the only thing. And that was nothing. That was nothing. But no, it was a great stay, great hotel. I would definitely, if I'm going back to Panama City, this is where I'm staying. And if someone called me today and asked me, "Hey, you just in Panama? Where would you stay?" I'm gonna go the Sofitel. That's where I would stay. Boom. I got a small group, about 50 people. The Sofitel. That's where I would stay. There you go. Anyway, getting back to, let's move forward. Because this show doesn't have to be that long. I kind of make these. Well, this is on air with Russell Hotel. So I got an hour to do this, right? But it won't be an hour today because I'm just kind of the topic for today has to do with North Star meetings. Okay, Destination Southeast. I'll be there this coming weekend. I'll be there this coming weekend. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be all of that because North Star is allowing me to come in and do a kind of a production, if you will, a production where we're going to be you guys understand interviewing. I call it a conversation, but you know how you interview people, you're asking them questions about, you know, their the destination they represent. And these are salespeople, right? Salespeople either from a destination, a CVB, tourism board, or a hotel they may represent, right? So the brands that they work for. So this gives me an opportunity to have conversation with people because a lot of times we don't elevate our brands like we should. And those are things that I've been thinking about over the last couple of years. I said, I do this show, I have this platform. How can I help hotel people elevate their brands? And this is what I came up with. So I went to David Blansfield, Executive Vice President of North Star Meetings Group, and asked him, what do you think about this? You know, I kind of threw it out there and said, what do you think about this? And of course, it was after he'd been on my show too, right? And yeah, he knew about my show. That's the darndest thing. He knew about my show and put me on the spot one day when I'm at one of their conferences. He said, hey, when are you going to ask me to be on your show? I said, you know about the show? He said, I watch your show all the time, Russell. It's great what you do. And I was like, wow, it kind of took me back, right? I kind of was like at a loss for words. If you can imagine that, I was at a loss for words, right? I'm like, oh my God, this guy, he's been on this. I mean, he watches the show. He knows about it. So, well, it is global, right? And he is international himself, right? So he works out of London and I want to say Singapore, I believe. Yeah, he works out of those two offices. So you can't get no more global than that, right? And if he knows that, then I'm like, okay. So he's on the show, and then I asked him, after the show, I emailed him and asked him and said, hey, what do you think about this? And, you know, I kind of, broke it down for him. He thought it was a great idea. So we had another side meeting, conference call, and kind of get the logistics of how I would do this. So anyway, on this coming Sunday through Tuesday, I'm going to be doing conversations or having conversations in order to elevate people's brands, right? And this is going to be taped and edited and given back to them. It's going to take about a week to do this. And then I'm going to post it on my platforms of LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, with the same thing. North Star can do the same thing. And then, of course, the brands, whatever salespeople and whatever brands they represent. So it's going to be a way to elevate their brands as well, their brands as well. So it's going to not elevate just me, right? It's going to elevate, okay, I'll say, yeah, it's going to elevate Russell Hotels. It's going to elevate North Star Meetings. It's going to elevate the destination, whoever is responsible for that destination. Let's just say it's St. Pete's, okay? St. Pete's CVB, and that representative from St. Pete's. So one form of content is going to elevate 4 different brands. Boom. Who does that? Who thinks like that? So it's all about creating content. It's all about elevating your brand, right? And I think that's one thing that we're missing. That's the missing component to when we go to these conferences and trade shows. We do the one-on-one appointments, but then we leave. What do we take with us? Do we take anything with us at that point? No, we take ourselves, we take our cars, we take all the things that we received, and we go back to our offices. And hopefully we get back to our offices because that's when the work begins, right? Because then we have to start calling people, we have to start soliciting, whatever we do, follow up with people, build that relationship, right? Because you can only do so much at a conference, right? And sometimes people forget about you. Well, guess what? If you have some content that you can post on your social media platform, that's LinkedIn, that's YouTube, that's Facebook, that's IG, that's TikTok, that's X, if that's what you want to do. You can post it. I just named 5 different other platforms you can post this. One form of content, all the platforms that you want to put it on, you can do, right? And that's what it's all about. So it's all about elevating your brand. So when you see elevating your brand and you're attending in North Star meetings, boom, that's what we're doing, right? That's what we're trying to do. Like I said, it's this whole thing is bigger than anything I can do, right? Because there's a lot of brands that need that assistance, right? So my job is, like I said, to educate more people about, don't be afraid to, have a conversation. I hate calling it an interview because it's not an interview. The conversation with 2 people talking about or discussing what they do or who they are, what they do, and how they can help. That's it. It's basically 3 questions. I'll throw a couple other ones in there, but it's basically 3 questions. Those 3 questions lead to other questions, though, right? Like, how you got started in the industry? Did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? And that's my phrase, just in case you didn't know. So those are things that I'm going to do at Destination Southeast. So thank you once again, David Blanchfield. Shout out to you. Shout out to North Star Meetings Group. I appreciate the opportunity. And I'll see you on Sunday. And I already have like 9-10 people that are interested in doing this. So we need some more, though. So more people, I mean, and how this is going to work, because I'm sure there's some people behind, in the background that don't know how this is going to work. So Sunday registration begins. So I'm going to be there on early Sunday morning. Sunday morning, it's going to be easy on like a Sunday morning. That's exactly what it's going to be. Easy like Sunday morning. So I'm going to be there early Sunday morning. So I'll be there in the afternoon, early afternoon when, people are setting up or, registration begins. So the bulk of these can be done during that time. If they're not done during this, during the registration time on Sunday, they'll be done, Monday or Tuesday. It's only half day Tuesday, right? And we can only do these during the breaks. So if there's, general session going on, we're not doing interviews or conversations during that time. During your breaks, if that's a, 15-minute, whatever, they give us breaks for snack break, potty break, whatever. Or if you got time between, what do you call them? One-on-one appointments or stuff like that. So it can't take away from the event. We're not trying to do that, right? Or after, your one-on-one appointments are over. So it has to be during those times. And we're set up in the foyer area. It's going to say Russell F. Hotel. So it's not like, it's going to be one of these secret places where, not many people know. No, it's up front. People are going to be able to see it. They're going to see the production. They're going to see the lights. They're going to see the cameras. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole production. Shout out to Bruce Jordan. He's the MJ of hotels. He is my producer, and he's the one that's going to produce everything. Or we're both producing it together, but he's the man behind the cameras. The cameras, not just one camera, the cameras. So it's going to be great. We did this before at the Click Conference. This is the first time we did it, the Click Conference here in Long Beach. Turned out wonderful, outstanding, great. So there you go. So those are things that we're going to do. So I just want to take this time to talk about that. I didn't necessarily have a topic. Well, that was a topic for the day. So there you go. Let's move forward. Who's hiring? So every week, I always want to make sure, and these are in the greater Los Angeles area. These are not jobs that are open in Panama City, okay? So these are jobs that are open here in Los Angeles area. I happen to be in LA today, so these are the jobs that are open at this moment. And for whatever reason, these jobs are always sales-related jobs. I look for everything, but the ones that pop up, maybe it's like an algorithm. If I specifically look for these, and then these are the ones that I'm fed all the time. So there you go. Who's hiring? First one is the Waldorf Astoria. They're looking for a director of sales and marketing in Beverly Hills. Now that would be a good hotel, right? That's a nice hotel to work in. UCLA, I'm not sure if that's the UCLA Conference Center or the on campus of UCLA. I'm not sure, but look at that one. That one's on hcareers.com. So just go hcareers and you'll find out more about that one. But UCLA, they're looking for a catering manager. The Hilton in Santa Monica, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. The DoubleTree in Pomona, I guess that's the one near the fairgrounds, what's called Fairplex. They're looking for a director of sales and marketing as well. Holiday Inn, Monterey Park, hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. If your girl starts acting up, then you take her friend. Remember that one? Who does not remember that song, that jingle from back in the day? Back in the 80s, right? What was that, Sugar Hill Gang? I can't remember that. It was like one of the original rap songs back in the day. You know, I may be dating myself. But anyway, that's okay. That's okay. But anyway, the Holiday Inn, you know, I go off on these tangents and I kind of lose my thought, right? So every now and then, you know, I don't know, something happens and I just like, oh my God, I got to sing it. It's a jingle or something. Holiday Inn, Monterey Park, which is right outside of Los Angeles. So that Monterey Park would be east of downtown, okay? They're looking for a director of sales. The Westin Bonaventure, the Bad Adventure. Now, let me stop saying that. People that work there, people that work there can say that. You know, they call it you worked at the Bad Adventure? It's called the Westin Bonaventure. They call it the Westin Bad Adventure. Okay, that's what it was back in the day. Okay, these days I'm sure it's wonderful. Okay, but back when I worked there, it was something. It was something. But I learned so much at that hotel. It's crazy. I learned so much at that hotel. I was a national sales manager back in the day. And I learned so much about contracts. Shout out to Joe Phillips, because Joe Phillips, Mark McKenzie, Joe Phillips, shout out to them because they taught me contracts. Well, Joe specifically taught me contracts. So that's why I know how to read contracts frontwards and backwards because of Joe Phillips. Because in order for him to turn over a contract, you had to sit down with him. Now, if it took an hour to go through that darn contract, because there was no 2-page contract, they were like 10 pages, right? With all the clauses and all those kind of things in it. So regardless if you've gone through it before, each contract, in order for him to turn it over, we had to go through each paragraph to make sure it all made sense and make sure the client knows everything about it and make sure I knew what I'm having the client sign, right? So if anything, you know, that repetition, him stopping and saying, well, do you know what this means? And, you know, this means this. Those are things that kind of still resonate with me to this day. So yeah, part of the experience there was a bad adventure, but the majority and the stuff that I learned, I mean, priceless. So once again, shout out to Joe Phillips and thank you, Mark McKenzie, as well for your role in my success at that hotel. Although it was brief, you know, I was there for about 13 months, and then I got a job to be a director of sales and marketing. I'm like, boom. There you go. Score. Success. So anyway, the Westin Bonaventure, I said all that to say this. The Westin Bonaventure, downtown Los Angeles, they're looking for a senior sales manager. I said all that to say that. So anyway. This show, On Air with Russell of Hotels, comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. So feel free to always tune in. If you miss a week, that's fine. I do a daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Air comes on every Tuesday. So if you missed today or last week, you can go back. The replays are there. They're on LinkedIn. They're on YouTube. So I don't get rid of any of the things that I do. This is all content. Any content I create, I do not delete. It's there forever. So make sure you check it out. You can go to YouTube. You can go to LinkedIn. It's there. So check it out. So this is outside. So this, of course, these are tables that are outside. Right outside those windows right there, if you can see the window right here, that's a coffee tea lounge or bar. So you can go and order your coffee, come sit outside, and that's what I was doing. I didn't have any tea or coffee, but I was actually waiting for our driver or our guide, and I was just sitting there, just chilling, just watching the people go back and forth. It's just a great experience. And like I said, it's in the plaza area that's real safe. There's a lot of shopping. Everything's in walking distance. It was just a great experience. Great experience. This is the lobby area. Any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. You have questions about what I do on air with Russell of Hotels, daily check-in, this hotel, my experience in Panama City. Just ask, feel free to reach out to me. You see my email, russell@russellofhotels.com. You can call me, just go to russellofhotels.com and my phone number is there. I mean, I can give you my number now, but no, that wouldn't be cool. So I want you to do a little work, right? So if you want to call me, you gotta do a little work. Just go to russellofhotels.com, find it, it's right there. Click, boom, call me, and that's fine. You know, I'm here, like I said, I'm accessible 100%. So yeah, so this is the lobby area, seating area, and back of there, over in this area, is the front desk. Over to this side, the bar area is over there, because you can't have a lobby without a bar, right? So a bar is there, and which opens into a patio, which is just beautiful, with views of the bay, and then there's a pool out there as well. So once again, I just had a phenomenal experience, a phenomenal stay at this hotel. Once again, it's called the Sofitel Legend Casco Viejo in Panama City, Panama. So the flight from Atlanta. So okay, so flew from Los Angeles. From Los Angeles to Atlanta is 4.5 hours. Had a 5-hour layover. Woo! 5-hour layover. But you know what? That 5 hours, it was long, but if you know, I flew Delta, right? So you're able to go to the Delta Sky Lounge. Oh yeah, well, that takes the edge off of anything, right? You got a bar, you got a full bar, you got food, you got Wi-Fi. What else do you need? Food, drinks, and Wi-Fi, and a restroom. What else do you need? You don't have to fight with everyone else out in the, you know, the regular, the general population of the airport. You don't have to fight with anyone else. It was in the same terminal that we're flying out of. Boom, there you go. So, and then from Atlanta to Panama City is another 4 hours. So it can make for a long day, if you will, okay? So, and then coming back, same distance, and then we had a delay. So not then we just have a 3-hour layover, but then a delay, which was probably another 2.5, almost 3 hours, right? I had to get home to 2:30 this morning. So, but that's okay, right? That's part of travel. So if you've never been delayed or had a flight canceled, you ain't traveling enough, okay? Because the more you travel, the more likely those things are going to happen. Okay, so that's why I always say pack your patience, because things are going to happen. Either things before you get on the plane, things when you're on the plane. There's always some things that are going to happen that don't go according to our plan, according to our schedule. But the more we travel, because everybody wants to say, oh, I like to travel more. But then when it comes up to these things, when these things happen, like, I'm not traveling anymore because this happened. Well, the more you travel, things are going to happen, okay? So I don't sweat it anymore. I just say, you know what? Hey, this comes. And if I can fly from the East Coast to the West Coast or the West Coast to the East Coast with no issues at all, I'm just like, thank God for that, okay? And just move on to the next flight. But that doesn't always happen. And it definitely didn't happen on this trip. We got delayed coming back I would say about 3-hour delay. But hey, there's weather that happens that you can't control. A crew couldn't get in so they had to cancel one crew because their flight got canceled, or they got rained in or stormed in or whatever the heck it was. So that plane couldn't come in. So they had to wait for another plane to come in from somewhere else and get that crew to fly this particular plane, or the flight attendants. So they're waiting for the flight attendants. The pilot and co-pilot were there, but they said they were close to getting caught in the storm too, but they're on a different plane, and they said they were able to get through. So a lot of things happen. One thing happens, one weather issue, condition happen in one city or one region, that can affect everything. So that's when we see all these things, all these cancellations or these delays. It's because of that for the most part, right? So there you go. I don't know why I said that, but sometimes people need to hear that stuff. And like I said, if you travel enough, be careful what you wish for, because you may come to the point where like, oh, I can travel as much as I want. But okay, that's fine. That's great. But just remember, that delays will happen, okay? Cancellations will happen, and it's all about how you deal with those things. So always remember, just pack your patience. So that's it, right? So thank you guys so much for joining this show number 307. Was this 307? Yeah, this is 307 of On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. We talk about a little bit of everything, as you can see. I do group, I'm hotel site selection. So what do? Hotel site selection is one thing I do. So I assist companies and organizations with finding that right hotel for their group, their retreat, for their corporate meeting, for their whatever it is, conference, convention. 10 rooms is considered a group. 10 or more rooms is considered a group. So I've done 10 rooms, I've done 650 rooms on peak. So it doesn't matter. You can add some zeros in there. It doesn't matter. It's the same amount of work that you have to do for 10 rooms or for 1,000 rooms. It's the same RFP, right? You're just adding some numbers. That's basically it. And maybe your meetings may be a little bit more intensive than 10 rooms, right? 10 rooms you're probably going to do is a board meeting, right? Okay. And or they may not need any space at all. So I had groups that are like several hundred people, but they didn't need any space. They just need rooms only. But then you come to some meetings at 600 rooms, they need meeting space for 600 people, and they need 20 breakout rooms. Okay, well then I'm looking for hotels that can accommodate that, right? So that's what I do as a hotel site selection person. Creating brand awareness for hotels and CVBs or DMOs or tourism boards, right? That's another thing I do. Creating brand awareness just through shows like this, On Air with Russell of Hotels, or postings, because those are things that we're missing the boat on. Just like I mentioned that what I'll be doing at the North Star conference coming up this week is, giving people an opportunity to talk about who they are, elevating their brand, right? The same thing for hotels. We need to elevate our hotels. And a lot of times we can only do that by utilizing social media more, right? So if that's on a podcast, if that's like a one-on-one, I'm doing a one-on-one with someone or someone that works at a hotel. Maybe I'm on property doing one-on-one saying, I'm talking to the general manager. Hey, I'm here talking to David, the general manager here at the Sofitel Legend in Panama City. And we're just talking, just having a 15-minute conversation about the hotel, maybe how he started in the industry. I mean, it's all about letting people know. It's all about creating a story, right? Not just for the hotel, but for yourself, because at the end of the day, people want to gravitate towards you. They want to hear your story, okay? And then you can talk about your brand, but it's all about a personal connection, if you will. And those are the things that I'm starting to do more of because I see that there is a need for that. When I was on property, I was missing that component, but I was able to see it once I left property, and where I'm seeing other issues that hotels are having, right? And it's visibility. It's a visibility issue. People forget your hotel exists because you're not visible. People forget you exist because you're not visible. The people that matter, okay? The people that matter, okay? It's not for the people that already know what you do. It's for the people that don't know what you do. There you go. Did I say it? Anyway, that is it. You guys have a great week, a great day. Today's Tuesday, right? So yeah, so have a great rest of your day Tuesday. Remember, I do a daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So tomorrow I'll be doing a daily check-in. Normally it's about 12 o'clock PST. That means Pacific Standard Time. But just look out for that. It's on the same platforms as well. So make sure you do follow me on LinkedIn and you subscribe to my channel on YouTube. That is it. Once again, I'm Russell Edmond. I go by Russell of Hotels. That is it. Check out my website, russellofhotels.com. So until tomorrow, you guys have a great day. And as always,